To get to the Portsmouth Central Travelodge, you need to get off at Portsmouth and Southsea Station and cross over the road. There you will find the entrance to Victoria Park, and the Travelodge we're staying in is just the other side of that park. This is the same building seen from the roadside, and you'll notice that it's a round glass building, and on the first floor this houses the restaurant areas.
We'll take the train or ride the bus.
We got a room on the 9th floor, so the views out the window towards the Solent and across Victoria Park were quite spectacular. In the morning, before we went out, we had views like this, and when we came back in the evening with the long days we've been having, we could watch the sunset over the Solent, all from our 9th floor window. And of course, if you know where to look, you can always see the Spinnaker Tower as it dominates the waterfront here. Just outside the Travelodge there's this gate which is a relic of the Dockyard Railway link that was in place between 1846 and 1977, and what you're now looking at is Unicorn Road, where they landscaped along the original track. I stopped to take a photo of this Solent electric bus, electric double-decker, and forgot that these buses, electric or not, tend to come in 2s and 3s. This is a building that also overlooks the park. It's next door to the Travelodge. It's the only other big building on this road. It's called Catherine House. Its role in life, I don't really know. The Nosh box sounds interesting, but even more interesting is an ATM for pizza. There's also a regular menu, which is quite interesting, and plenty of seating behind the fence. I showed you a bit of this park last month, but as we were walking back to it every day when we were heading back to the Travelodge, we got quite a few pictures of it in different light. I mentioned the Travelodge restaurant on the first floor. The reception is over there on the left. There's a bar that seems to be nearly open all around the clock, and there's a huge seating area, which of course wraps around inside the curved glass window. There's a number of different seating areas, some with views across the park, and of course moving round, because it's a circle, if you move round to the other side you get to see across to the city and watch the buses go past. There's a separate dining area for breakfast, and we did try that on one morning as well.
We will see cows and sheep and pubs where we eat. We'll go down to the sea, riding buses for free.
You can't visit Portsmouth Harbour without seeing the HMS Warrior, because it's a pretty huge vessel parked here permanently now. It was originally launched in 1860 and now being donated to the National Museum of the Royal Navy. We're at the Hard interchange where Warrior is moored up, and you're looking at the Gosport Ferry. Now, this is an interchange of transport featuring buses and trains and boats, and the Gosport Ferry seems to go backwards and forwards across the Solent 24 hours a day almost. I believe there is a night service, and as they walk up the gangway they can choose to either turn into the railway station, which they're already walking alongside, or they can keep going and go into the bus station from the back end. There's concrete seating all along the edge of the water here where you can sit and relax, drink a cup of coffee, or even do your homework. It's perfectly obvious how close the buses and trains are here, and the ferry to the Isle of Wight, you get to that inside the railway station. We'll finish off by going down there after we've checked out all these electric buses.
It's the start of a beautiful day. Maythorn magic is coming your way. We'll dive in the deep end and long for the weekend. Maythorn magic is here to stay.
Since I last went down to this ferry terminal, they've stopped selling Costa coffee, the signs are still up, and they're now selling coffee brewed from the Isle of Wight. You now have to go through an extra barrier to get into the coffee area, but you don't have to be going to the Isle of Wight for them to let you through.
My name is Brian Smart and I am here to discuss all things technical.
And that just goes to prove you can't believe everything you see and you hear these days, because that obviously wasn't me. But AI is a great tool for people like me to use to create music and to create images that I can't easily get hold of in other ways. And as you can see, there are some pretty zany ideas out there for what should be in a video. AI can actually create scenery, landscapes and so on, but as yet I haven't used it for that, because the whole point of me going out and doing videos is that I get involved in the landscape myself and I bring back pictures of it. I've been watching AI avatars develop over the last 6 to 12 months. Now, I've only been able to use the ones that I can get for free. I am a pensioner, you know. These are some of the ones that I discovered and I put out on this video channel. I have created some scenery videos just to see how they came out, including a ship sailing towards me and a steam train going past down the high street. With most of the AI platforms that I've used, you get plenty of choice of the person who is representing you on screen, but most of the voices seem to be American, and an awful lot of them are very brash. I don't want that sort of people speaking on my videos, so I've had to go the other way.
We are at Crewe Station, having come down from Liverpool on a West Midlands railway train. From here, we take another West Midlands train to London Euston, so we have some time to kill. This trip is on a Super Saver return, costing £17 with a rail card. You can use one of several trains that run hourly through the day. We have nearly an hour to wait for the connecting train, so Brian is wandering around the platforms.
You may remember up to last year I had a theme to this Maythorn Monthly, which was done by a guitarist called Andros. It was a 30-second piece that I ordered from him on the website Fiverr, because it cost me a fiver. Excuse Transport for Wales, who've decided to arrive while I'm talking to you. You'll know now that I'm creating fresh music all the time using an AI called Suno, and you can upload music to them. So I took my 30-second guitar riff, uploaded it to Suno, and the first thing they did was store it in a slightly different way, so it's sounding slightly different. Have a listen to this. Something to do while the train went by. The next thing I asked Suno to do was create me an acoustic version. So they did, and I've been using it. Did you notice? Supposed to be able to control this camera from my phone, but I seem to have lost it. This is Crewe Station. My dad used to sing a song, which I think was a wartime song, based on travelling up from London and a train that he wanted to go to Birmingham, and it took me on to Crewe, the song said. Well, we now travel from the north to Crewe. Crewe is a great interchange station. You can go more or less anywhere from here. So personally, I wouldn't complain about going on to Crewe. Clapham Junction's the other one, down on the south end. It's one of the busiest railway stations in the country, if not in Europe. So we'll give that a look at some point too.
He wanted to go to Crewe, and they took him on to London Euston. From there, the fastest way to travel across London is the tube. So where is Brian going?
Well, I took the tube from Euston to Sloane Square, and then I thought, enough of the tube, it's a really warm day above on the surface, so I'll do some walking. And I walked from Sloane Square over the bridge, and then got buses, 2 of them, to get me to Clapham Junction. The bus dropped me at this junction, where there's Botanica Hall on one corner, a pub called the Falcon on another corner, another pub which I'll come to in a minute was on the opposite side, and the travel lodge where I was going to stay is right here in this street. You can already see what's next door, so I can't hide that any longer. Being called the London and South Western and having trains on the front outside, you might guess it's a railway themed pub. And the thing I liked about this pub was the long glass windows at the front, very good for people watching. My room had views over the railway lines into Clapham Junction station, and there was hardly a time when there weren't 3 or 4 trains out the window. I would have shown you them on video, but the windows were so dirty that you couldn't really see well enough to film. So the following morning I set off on a few miles walking, which I'd planned to do, first to head into Battersea Park. Again, that's about a mile from where I was staying, and the park itself took me another mile to walk through it. I'm heading towards the River Thames and exiting by the Chelsea Gate entrance on the top right of the map. That says Go Ape. It's a feature of Battersea Park that I haven't seen anywhere else. I've seen lots of parks with tall trees, but here you're allowed to swing through the trees like an ape. We're south of the Thames here, and this is the walkway along the edge of the park towards Chelsea Bridge, where we will exit. We will go across the main road and you will come across Battersea Power Station. Battersea Power Station ceased to generate electricity in 1983 and was closed down, and it's been sold and redeveloped as a huge shopping centre and leisure area, and they're still building accommodation with the flats all around the area. Although the sign says they'll be delivering the new Northern Line extension, I can tell you that it is now open, and I travel back to Euston from there because it's a Northern Line extension and it's the Northern Line that I need at Euston.
It's the start.